I was watching a video this afternoon by a YouTuber, Christian YouTuber, who was one that I've been following for a little while. She tells a story about a 13-year-old boy who has actually been force jabbed by his family. He's force jabbed by his family. He's afraid. Okay, this is what he said. He's a first of all, okay, okay. He's a believer in Christ, and he was afraid. He was afraid that he actually taken, when he was forced down, I guess against his will. He was afraid of taking the mark, it. And so he came and he was asking for prayers, and he was afraid. I was sorry. This is a little boy, you could say whatever you okay. I used to be skeptical about many things because as an adult you begin to question, certain things like organized religion, and I've seen it all. I'm not perfect. But lately I've seen the best and the worst in people. Okay. And, if you haven't been living on a rock lately, I gotta tell you, we are in for some really, really interesting times. We're in it right now. We're smack down and dab in the middle of it right now. And when I hear stories like this, being force vaccinated, I shouldn't even use the V word, force getting the Kool-Aid. I'll just put it that way. Okay, I'm sure that people understand what I'm talking about. Getting the Kool-Aid and being forced against your own will to getting a jab that you don't want. Many people who have actually done the research, they don't want it. But they have some pop-ups right there. And I'm being distracted. Every time I try to get somewhere, something happens. And I'm trying to get somewhere. It's like, okay, I'm not one to preach, but if you have friends or family that are thinking about getting the jab, do not force anyone to get something that is against their beliefs, that is against their religion. If they are truly believers, best thing to do, as a, not just, because it's right or wrong, just respect those people's beliefs, okay? We're losing our freedoms left and right, okay? Let's face it. Do you really think that it's a good idea to hold someone down and force an untested serum, which hasn't even been, I mean, we don't know the long-term health risks. We don't know. But get this. Over 1/3 of everybody in the world has actually taken the jab. Okay? So, which means that, there's only 2/3 of the population left. That's a huge percentage of the world's population. Okay? Now hear me out. What if, and this is a big what if, let's just say hypothetically that this is not really the mark or whatever people claim it to be. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're putting someone down, holding someone down against their will to inject them with a serum which has been known to change your DNA. We don't know the long-term health risks. A few people may or may not have actually died from this or have gotten some really serious health side effects. Their physical health. They're getting, rashes, sores, on the inside of her face. I seen it. I'll just roll a clip. It's not fun. And my family also, they've also taken it. My family, they didn't listen to me. I okay. I've done a lot of research. I know that certain churches and places they're not going to acknowledge all the facts. They're actually saying that this is like a gift from God. Like the vaccine. Are people that naive and stupid? Really, really? I mean, you think that this is okay? Do you think that this is really okay to actually do this to a 13-year-old kid or an old lady or anyone in general? That's not right. Not often do I put my face out there on camera, but you know something? I'm a little bit PO'd because the other day I actually brought in, uh, I'll just call him a stranger. He was a traveler. He was supposed to be my guest. He slept on this floor right here. And he had the nerve, actually, to actually force, he wanted me to actually get it. So I said, I'll think about it. No, no, no. He was like, oh, come on, let's go, let's go. It's right there. Let's go get the Moderna. You know what happened? We turned around. He left. And he was on vacation on his bike. So it's like, okay, if this is what you want to do, you can go camp out in the woods somewhere. But, when you're pushing something, to your guest who's actually trying to give you a place to stay. I mean, how dare you? This is a nerve of people. They have no. Oh yeah, and of course he've already gotten it because well, he told me he had COVID, so uh, which is too bad because you know what, if you actually got COVID, then you could already be naturally immune to it. Why take the vax, right? People are not. Uh, I promise you, people are not. They're not doing the research. They're really not. They have no idea what the long term health risks are. Yeah, you could argue that nobody wants COVID. Well, nobody wants to die, but I mean the fact of the matter is that I mean you're taking a vaccine that's like it's not like any other normal vaccine. Said, oh yeah, you've already gotten 13 shots before you were age 5. Well, yeah, that may be the case. I wasn't held down or anything. I didn't have any much choice, but we're talking about a vaccine that changes your DNA and hasn't been tested that long. People are so adamant about getting back to normal that they don't think about the long-term health risks. I swear, this is by far the dumbest generation. We're not smart as a collective. Yeah, oh, the technology is getting better, but we as a society, we regurgitate other knowledge from people, from, you know, so-called experts. Dr. Fauci he's a liar. I'm sure that he believes in what he says is true, and Bill, they're pushing this vaccine. Why? Because number one, money. These are the same types of groups of people who buy all the important land. They have billions of dollars at their disposal. Do you really think that they give a rat's ass about the common general public? Or is there some kind of ulterior hidden agenda? It's like when 9/11 happened, I'm just going to be stretching for a minute. When 9/11 happened and I was 15 years old at the time, and all the planes got diverted from around the world and just came to our hometown. I'm not going to say which town it was, but I'm sure that a lot of the world was very grateful, and they knew our hospitality. But during that day, when a very terrible, tragic event happened, and almost 3,000 people died, it was like that caused a chain reaction. It caused the Patriot Act. It caused people to give up their freedoms. Caused war in the Middle East, because if you can get people to react in fear, you can make people do whatever you want. I know that these elites, they know this. They talk about this this method, problem, reaction, solution. Okay, so you create a problem. Let's just say, for example, in Wuhan, China, when they had the virus, they had a chance to contain the virus. They didn't do that at all. What did they do? They left the borders open. Uh, they let they let it spread to all different countries, and only then did they actually issue a worldwide pandemic emergency. So it was in their control if they really were concerned right from the beginning, and that's why they're backtracking. Congress, they're asking Fauci and all these other uh, people who are responsible. They were responsible for this big mess, and they're trying to do heavy investigation, because there's a bunch of things that doesn't quite add up. There's a lot of lies. The truth is going to come out. There are a few good people. I'm not going to name names. Like the Dr. Rand Paul and all these other they're politicians. They're trying their best to figure out what the hell went wrong. And meanwhile, this COVID, this jab, the Kool Aid, whatever you want to call it, there's people that are coming out. They're coming out on YouTube. They're coming out on BitChute and all these other platforms, which eventually it censors the truth. I've been censored. I've been censored a lot, and I don't have a reason to lie. I'm putting myself on camera. I want to know why. I really want to know why they're pushing this so damn hard, and how this is affecting people. My family, okay, they've already taken the jab, and I told them not to do it because I was afraid, because I've seen the long-term health risks, the effects of what this does to some people. It ain't pretty. Any way you look at this, I'm old enough to have seen all the evidence. Okay, I don't have uh, like a master's or bachelor's degree in anything. I'm just a filmmaker. I'm just a guy who makes videos. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. And I gotta tell you, people wiser, smarter people than me, they have the information out there. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice. I don't know what you guys are doing, but all this time when people are so concerned about getting back to normal, we're gonna take the job, we're gonna go back to work, just like, yeah, back to the way things were. This is how the majority thinks. They actually believe that in what this is gonna actually help people, when they have not done the research, when a lot of stories have been censored and a lot of facts they just don't add up. When when uh, when employers are actually forcing their coworkers, their employees to take something which they're not quite sure about, but they feel like that they don't have a choice because they feel like it's the right thing to do. No, it's not. If people have you know if they have not read their Bible, fine. If they don't believe in it, you don't have to read the Bible. I mean, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that You know, there's a lot of, things that it doesn't. I mean, we were lied to a great deal about this. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. These people don't want us to get better. If they really wanted people to get better, I would say that they would have not censored good doctors like Dr. Pierre Corey and his testimony of ivermectin, or the alternative home remedies that are slowly trickling through, you know, the social media, and then people are bashing it because they think it's some kind of crazy conspiracy, but they'll accept to take a mRNA vaccine, which is actually going to change your DNA, and forcing people to take this against their will. It's not right. I mean, we've had the time. Excuse me. We've had the time to think things through. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see that the world is, it's gotten to the point where pretty soon, it won't be enough to just take one or two. This pandemic is not going to end. Like, people are going to be having to go back for booster shot after booster shot. You know, probably slowly numbing us down, like it already has. I think in a lot of people, they're what do you call the I don't know. Sometimes people, they have a moment of extreme clarity. That intuition. You know what that means? Intuition. That little voice in your head which tells you, "Hey, something is not quite right. We don't feel um, safe, or this doesn't feel right. I'm not going to take this because I feel deep down in my conscience." You know what a conscience is, right? Like, it's often not wrong. If you have a feeling that something is not right, but if you're listening to experts, experts who are regurgitating knowledge that other people have told them, like doctors and such. Many doctors are oblivious. They don't really know. Other doctors are regurgitating knowledge from medical professionals, which goes all the way up to the big pharma groups are making this money. They don't want to see people um, cured. They just want to treat the disease. And boy, oh boy, is there going to be there's going to be a lot of things bubbling up to the surface once people are going to be realizing, hey, you know what, this vaccine is not making me feel better. There's something wrong. It's like, I'm starting to feel, like twitchy, or they're getting, heart palpitations. Things like people having blood clots. Prions disease is something I've just learned about a month ago, and I'm not even a medical professional, so yeah. So this stuff exists. Yeah, and you know what? Oh, and get this. This is true. The medical pharmaceutical industry, you cannot sue them. You cannot sue these people because the pharmaceutical industry, they're protected. They're protected from all liabilities. And if you try and sue them, they say, hey, you know what? Sorry, by law, we can't be sued. You've taken this. It's, you gotta live with it. It's consequences. So they're monopolizing that. And if you get sick, they'll just, the only place you can go back to is the pharmaceutical industry. It's like a monopoly. Have you ever played the game Monopoly? Like, where everything is all bought and paid for. It's like, imagine a whole board. Bill Gates, he's bought up all the land. He's bought up Microsoft. Well, he's the founder of Microsoft. And all these other different companies, all these other rich tycoons. They control everything. Everything, and it's just. And on this, this video may actually be censored too. That's another thing. This is a broken platform, and a lot of my videos, I wish I could have reached people, but you know, as it turns out, I tried my best. And when I hear stories like a 13-year-old kid or an old lady and other people like who have been forced to getting a jab, you know, it's not good. People really have to wake the hell up and understand that our freedoms are being taken away. And this is something I think about every day. I can't I can't be the one to wake people up because this video could be it could last a day or a week. Maybe some good Samaritan out there might copy this video and share it. You know, maybe he might help give me a tip on what's really happening. I really I really am done with crying to people I'll never get to see behind the screen. I do care. I try to help in ways I can, but as an independent filmmaker, you know, asking for help when it comes time to do that, I can't get the help I need. You know, when I have a problem, I have to, you know, I guess use my head, you know, try to solve that. And most people these days, they don't do that. They depend on other people to tell them for them. That's why a lot of us are probably never going to wake up in time because we don't have that ability to think critically. You know, people don't think. We don't think about the long-term health risks. We just think about what's going to happen a week or a month. You know, there's no there's no investigation. There's nothing. So when people want to take responsibility for their own health, if they want to, stop, being sheep and really start, becoming adults. Being an adult is not being a child, and becoming an adult means having to go through, a period of maturity, which a lot of adults and even young people, no one's exempt here. Everybody has to. Everybody's got to take a certain amount of responsibility for their actions. If you're not willing to take 20 minutes to go and research this stuff, which is for free on different platforms, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not an expert, but with the tools that I got the power of the internet. You do too. And you know what? I don't really have, I don't think I really have much left to add. I don't feel too sorry for those people. But I feel sorry for that little boy. It wasn't his fault. He was forced into that. And that makes me really sad, and that's bullshit, I think. Excuse my French. But I have to be real. I don't feel good just keeping this up bottled up inside. Otherwise I'm just gonna go out and chop down a tree with a sword or something. It's making me very angry. You can see like I'm already starting to sweat, and you know what? It's going on for 20-25 minutes, and I think I'm done. That's all I gotta say right now. That's all. Peace out. God bless.